In the visions of God, Ezekiel was shown the land of Yisrael.
Ye shall divide this land to you according to the tribes of Yisrael, and it shall be that ye shall divide it by lot for an inheritance to you and to the strangers that sojourn among you, who shall beget children among you, and they shall be to you as the homeborn among the children of Yisrael. They shall have inheritance with you among the tribes of Yisrael. And it shall be that in what tribe the stranger sojourneth, there shall ye give him his inheritance, saith the Lord Yahweh.
Ezekiel chapter 48.
Now these are the names of the tribes from the north end, beside the way of Hethlon, to the entrance of Hamath, Hater-Ainan, at the border of Damascus, northward beside Hamath, and they shall have their sides east and west. Dan, one portion, and by the border of Dan, from the east side to the west side, Asher, one portion, and by the border of Asher, from the east side even to the west side, Naphtali, one portion, and by the border of Naphtali, from the east side to the west side, Manasseh, one portion, and by the border of Manasseh, from the east side to the west side, Ephraim, one portion, and by the border of Ephraim, from the east side even to the west side, Reuben, one portion, and by the border of Reuben, from the east side to the west side, Yehudah, one portion, and by the border of Yehudah, from the east side to the west side, shall be the oblation which ye shall offer, 25,000 reeds in breadth, and in length as one of the portions, from the east side to the west side, and the sanctuary shall be in the midst of it. The oblation that ye shall offer to Yahweh shall be 25,000 reeds in length, and 10,000 in breadth. And for these, even for the priests, shall be the holy oblation. Toward the north, 25,000 in length, and toward the west, 10,000 in breadth, and toward the east, 10,000 in breadth, and toward the south, 25,000 in length. And the sanctuary of Yahweh shall be in the midst thereof. It shall be for the priests that are sanctified of the sons of Zadok, that have kept my charge, that went not astray, when the children of Yisrael went astray, as the Leviim went astray. And it shall be to them an oblation from the oblation of the land, a holy thing of holy things, by the border of the Leviim, and answerable to the border of the priests. The Leviim shall have 25,000 in length, and 10,000 in breadth. All the length shall be 25,000, and the breadth 10,000, and they shall sell none of it, nor exchange it, nor shall the first fruits of the land be alienated, for it is a holy thing for Yahweh. And the 5,000 that are left in the breadth in front of the 25,000 shall be for common use, for the city, for dwelling, and for suburbs. And the city shall be in the midst thereof. And these shall be the measures thereof: the north side 4,500, and the south side 4,500, and on the east side 4,500, and the west side 4,500. And the city shall have suburbs: toward the north 250, and toward the south 250, and toward the east 250, and toward the west 250, and the residue in the length, answerable to the holy oblation, shall be 10,000 eastward, and 10,000 westward, and it shall be answerable to the holy oblation, and the increase thereof shall be for food to them that labor in the city. And they that labor in the city out of all the tribes of Israel shall till it. All the oblation shall be 25,000 by 25,000. Ye shall offer the holy oblation foursquare, with the possession of the city. And the residue shall be for the prince, on the one side and on the other side of the holy oblation, and of the possession of the city, in front of the 25,000 of the oblation toward the east border, and westward in front of the 25,000 toward the west border, answerable to the portions. It shall be for the prince, and the holy oblation and the sanctuary of the house shall be in the midst thereof. Moreover, from the possession of the Lewiim, and from the possession of the city being in the midst of that which is the prince's, between the border of Yehudah and the border of Benjamin, it shall be for the prince. And as for the rest of the tribes, from the east side to the west side, Benjamin, one portion, and by the border of Benjamin, from the east side to the west side, Shimon, one portion, and by the border of Shimon, from the east side to the west side, Yishashakar, one portion, and by the border of Yishashakar, from the east side to the west side, Zabulon, one portion, and by the border of Zabulon, from the east side to the west side, Gad, one portion, and by the border of Gad, at the south side southward, the border shall be even from Tamar to the waters of Meribah Kadesh, to the brook of Mithraim, to the great sea. This is the land which ye shall divide by lot to the tribes of Israel for inheritance, and these are their several portions, saith the Lord Yahweh. And these are the egresses of the city: on the north side 4,500 reeds by measure, and the gates of the city shall be after the names of the tribes of Israel: 3 gates northward, the gate of Reuben, 1. The gate of Yehudah, 1. The gate of Lewi, 1. And at the east side 4,500 reeds, and 3 gates, even the gate of Yosef, 1. The gate of Benjamin, 1. The gate of Dan, 1. And at the south side 4,500 reeds by measure, and 3 gates, the gate of Shimon, 1. The gate of Yishachar, 1. The gate of Zabulon, 1. At the west side 4,500 reeds, with their 3 gates, the gate of Gad, 1. The gate of Asher, 1. The gate of Naphtali, 1. It shall be 18,000 reeds round about, and the name of the city from that day shall be Yahweh is there.